Hi Flip family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Carissa and I am the owner and artist of Flip. So today we're going to be talking about some things I made for a fall wedding using flowers from Ling's Moments. I did an unboxing a while back, but I thought I would share with you what I did with those as well as some other DIY projects for the wedding. So these are the invitations that I made using an invitation set that I found on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and then the little stickers I found there as well. I printed out the words at Office Max on like overhead plastic, and then used two little brads to attach it to the card and embellished with some 3D paper flower stickers. And that allowed me to bring in the other colors of the wedding. This is one of those pressed wood letters, and I just Mod Podged some coordinating scrapbook paper to it and then sanded off the edges so it gave a really clean edge. And that's a good tip when you're using Mod Podge on wood, is sanding the edges. And I made this globe as a guest book. I found the globe at Goodwill for about $7. And then I've painted it and used cork stickers from Michaels. And this is a very time-consuming project. It took a lot of layers of paint to do the navy ocean and the pink continents. And then I also purchased these little chalkboards from Dollar Tree. I'm sure most of you recognize these. These were to mark different foods on the reception buffet. And then these are from Wish, and I will try to remember to put the link in the description. These are little vow books. They're made out of wood, and we were having an outdoor woodland themed wedding. And they have some little couple pages of the brown craft paper, but it'd be very easy to add more pages or lined pages, whatever works for you. And then the last thing before the flowers is I collect Funko Pops, especially the Pocket Pops, but I customized these. So this is a Captain Kirk body and a Gomez Adams head that was then painted to look like the groom and put onto a wooden base so it'd be easy to stand on top of the cake. And then this is a Bernadette from Big Bang Theory head and a Luna from Harry Potter body. And again, painted to match what my hair looked like at the time. I think they came out really cute and very personalized to us. So the first arrangement that I made used these hanging glass jars. These are from Dollar Tree, and I purchased 12 of them, plus 12 of their shepherd's hooks to go along the edge of the aisle. These are the only flowers that I purchased outside of Ling's. These are hydrangeas, which is my favorite flower, and I got these at Michael's. I separated all of the flowers by color, which made it very easy to then put together my little mini bouquets. So I started with the hydrangeas in the middle, and I like to work in odd numbers. It's more visually appealing. So you see I've added 3 of the blush pink in kind of a triangle shape. And then I'm going to go in between those with one of the greenery pieces. Again, these are from the Ling's boxes. And I'm going to use an odd number, and I'm going to work in that triangle shape again. And I'm just holding these in my hand as I put them together, and that allows me to move them around as I'm putting each piece in, straightening out the stems. Sorry about the penguin pants. I didn't think those were going to show. So now I'm going to add the navy blue. I only used the blush, ivory, and blue in these mason jar pieces. The burgundy I saved for other locations. So again, I'm working in threes, working in that triangle shape in between those pink flowers. Now, because these are wire stemmed, it's really easy to just use one of the stems to wrap around the whole bundle, and that will keep them together securely. There's no need to glue them or anything like that. And you can use your wire cutters to cut off the excess wire, or you can just bend it up. Now the flowers look great, the stems not so much, and the jars are clear. So while I like the top, I needed to figure out something for inside the jar, and that ended up being these little paper bags. I just ripped the bottom part off of the bag so that it was the right height. That way it would fit down inside the jar, give that rustic kind of look, go with everything else that was going on for the wedding decor, and cover the stems. You could also use rocks or burlap or seashells, whatever goes with the theme of your wedding. And then you have to arrange the flowers so that you can get that little loop up at the top so it can hang from the shepherd's hook. But again, with the wired stem, it's really easy to just fluff out as you need to. And there we go. Easy as can be. And I made 12 of these. Now when we're doing our bouquet, we're going to do something very similar. I'm going to start with a hydrangea in the middle, and then I'm going to work in threes. Starting with the blush, but you can start with whatever color you want to. This is where I realized that I knocked all of my ivory flowers onto the floor. Ah, crafting. I really loved these white with the gold. I wish I had more of those actually, because they were really pretty. So I did the hydrangeas, 3 blush, 3 ivory, and now I'm going to go in with a lighter blue. I didn't use navy blue in the bridal bouquet flowers, but I will use it as part of the embellishment. Oh, I totally lied. So light blue, then navy blue. Okay. And these navy blue ones have a little bit of like a sparkle to them, almost like a glitter, but super fine. What's nice about not attaching these together in any way as I'm working is if I don't like something, like that first burgundy flower that I tried was too big, and so I was able to easily replace it with something smaller. So as I'm looking at it, and I always have a mirror or a camera in front of me so that I can look at what the bouquet looks like from other people's perspective as I'm holding it, and realized I could use a little bit of the darker color up top to break up some of that lightness. So I chose a burgundy rose for that. And then I'm sort of shaping it with my hand into that classic bouquet. And since I like the way it looks so far, I am going to go ahead and use one of the stems to wrap it up. That way I can set it down and I won't lose the shape. And again, with those wire stems, super easy to attach them together and to form them into whatever shape you want, whether it's something like this or a teardrop shape, crescent shape. I really like these sparkle leaves as well. Everything's better with sparkle. I wish there had been more of them. So working in sets of 3, I only had 2 in front of me, so I thought maybe this would work, but it does not. So I ran and got another one. It really does make a difference working in those odd numbers and that triangle shape to help create that balance. I just find it more visually appealing. All right, wrap them up. And then again, you can cut these stems off or you can fold them up like I'm doing. You just want the bottom to be as even as possible because we're going to finish this off with some of our chiffon ribbon. And once you do this next step, you can't really go back. So it's important that you like the way that it looks at this stage. And whether you use a mirror for that or use your camera, either one works. You just want to make sure that the bouquet looks the way that you want from somebody else's perspective, whether it's from when you're walking down the aisle or a photographer. So this is the chiffon ribbon from Ling's. And this is the navy. So I finish all my bouquets this way when I was in the bridal industry. All I'm going to do is I'm going to create a loose knot, but I tie it multiple times because I need it to be as big as the bundle of stems. And you'll see what I mean here in just a second. So I'm using the knots to cover the stems at the bottom. And so I'm going to add some hot glue. And just attach that knot. Don't worry about strings at this point. You can use a hair dryer or a heat gun at the end when you're all done with the hot glue to get rid of those. So I'm going to fold that little tail down against the stems, and then I'm just going to start wrapping those stems with the ribbon. And you can use anything for this. I've used fabric, I've used lace, I've used ribbon, I've used moss. You can use anything you want to cover these. Just understanding that you will have to, if it's a see-through fabric, you'll have to use more layers of it or use something plain underneath so that you can't see those stems. Because the flowers look great, the stems not so much. And I'm just adjusting the fabric as I'm wrapping to make sure that it's covering everything that I want it to cover. And you can wrap this as many times as you want to get the thickness that you want. One thing about this ribbon that I was not even really thinking about is that it does unravel. And so you'll see me struggling a little bit with all of those little strings as they grab onto pretty much everything they can. I'm going to cut it off, add a little dot of glue just to secure the top of that ribbon because I don't want it to come off. I'm getting rid of all of those little strings from the chiffon that had wound themselves around the flowers and the leaves and pretty much everything else. And I had purchased some other colors of the chiffon ribbon. And so I'm going to choose one of the pinks. I really needed more of like a coral type color to go with that blush, but this light pink will work. And you can cut the ends of this in straight. You can cut it into a little dovetail. I just cut it at an angle to give it a nice look. And then I'm going to choose the ivory as well. and a piece of the navy that I used to wrap the stems in. Now I have a pre-made bow that I'm going to use for this bouquet, so I'm just using these for some added detail. I'm going to cut them about 1 yard long. I'm not measuring them or anything, I'm just eyeballing what I think looks nice. Cutting all the pieces on the diagonal. And then I'm going to tie these in a knot right where I had glued the end of the wrap. And that will give it some added security. But the other thing is I like to put a bow on the top of my bouquet, because even though the bouquet looks nice basically from all different angles, there's usually one side that you like the best for whatever reason. Maybe it has a specific focal flower, or it has particular balance, or the shape just came out perfect that way. And so if you have a bow on the front, then it's very easy for you to know which way the bouquet goes without even having to think about it. So this bow I got off of Etsy. It is a cheer bow, so it is quite large and it has an elastic on it. But that makes it super easy to loop around the stems. And it's a black elastic, so it doesn't show against the navy blue. I'm just going to wrap it around, cinch it up, and then pull those streamer pieces down around it. There goes more of those threads. Those things were driving me crazy. Just something to keep in mind if you are going to use these chiffon ribbons, is you're going to be doing a lot of trimming. Another project that I had that I was going to do and didn't get to was some upcycled hula hoops with flowers, and then these chiffon ribbons as streamers to use as the backdrop for the ceremony. And again, checking in the mirror. Now you can leave the streamers just like they are. You can cut them short. You can tie them in a bow. I'm going to tie little loose knots at the bottom of some of them just to give them a different texture. I really like the way that that looks. And you can leave these off completely if that's not the look that you want, of course, because they're not what is securing the wrap. But I do like the soft look of that. And then the last project that I did was these little picks. I used a large heart punch from Joann's, and then skewers from the Dollar Tree, and I made 200 of these. Some of the scrapbook paper I bought at Hobby Lobby. You can get like 4 sheets for $1, but most of them I just had in my stash, so I pulled out everything I had that was in the colors that would go with the wedding, and then I punched out a bunch of the hearts and then just used hot glue to attach 2 different hearts on either side of the wood skewer, and then these were going to be used to line the aisle. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have lots of fun hauls and DIYs coming your way. And if you also hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new videos. Thank you for joining me and have a wonderful day.